In this portion, we're going to be looking at a circle graph and the statements that go with it. The first statement says how many more like fish than dogs if 50 were surveyed. So if we look at the graph, we're talking about favorite pets. And this statement is asking us to look at fish and dogs. So let's start there. We have our fish is 28% and our dogs are 12%. And then we need to grow this or set this up to be equal to 50 people surveyed. So we need to know how many people 12% and 28% are. And then we need to know how many more like one over the other. So how many more means to subtract. We have two ways to do this. First, we could find the individual numbers, subtract them, and then we could also do the percents first. So let's do percent of. So I need to know 12%. Percent is out of 100. And what that equals if there's 50 kiddos. So I can actually look at a cross pattern. I see I can go from 100 to 50 by dividing by 2. So I'm going to divide 12 by 2. That's 6. Then we need to find the number of kiddos who like fish as pets. So that's 28%, so it's out of 100, equals something here out of the 50 kiddos. Once again, I see I can divide to move from 100 to 50 by 2. So 28 divided by 2 is 14. Now we're going to subtract these two because how many more means to subtract. So we're going to do 14 minus 6, which gives us 8. The other way to do this is to start out with subtracting our percents. So we could do 28 minus 12. And when we do that, that gives us 16. So that would be 16%. 16% is out of 100. Then we'd still set it up as how many kids is that out of 50? I still see a pattern. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So if we divide this by 2, that gives us 8. So both ways we've got the same answer. So we got 8 kiddos prefer fish over dogs. Now we're going to solve the next sticky note. It says, based on the graph, how many like hamsters if 50 kids were surveyed? Well, let's look at our data here. We need to have hamsters, and we're looking at 50 kiddos surveyed. So when we look at our circle, we see hamsters right here. Oh, we're missing our percent. So we need to find that missing percent. So we see all of these here, so we need to add these up, and then we will subtract to find out our hamster piece. So I'm going to look at these two here and add them up. That is 25%. When we add these two up, that's 37%, and then we have that one. So let's add them all. 25 plus 37 plus 28. So now we have 12 plus 8 is 20. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 90% there. That leaves us with 10% like the hamsters. And how did I get 10%? Because we know a whole circle graph is 100. All of those pieces that were given add up to 90, so that leaves us with 10%. Well, that's not our final answer because it doesn't ask what percent. It says how many. I need to know 10%, right? 10 out of 100, 10%, if 50 were surveyed. Well, we know we can divide 100 by 2 to get 50. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 5 kiddos like the hamsters. You're going to continue to do the same kind of activity on the next few slides. Be sure to set up your proportions. Percents are always out of 100. The bottom number will then line up with how many students, people, or items were the total for your circle graph.